This is the start of my 1988 Chevrolet S10 V8 swap. I bought it with what ended up being a 2.8 V6 with a 700 R4 behind it. You'll hear me for the first couple videos reference it as a 4.3 liter with a 700 R4 behind it, as that's what I was told it was when I purchased the vehicle. I found out after I removed the engine that it was in fact a 2.8. So you'll hear me say that it's 4.3, and then I'm going to use the 700 R4 behind the V8. I obviously realized later in the videos that that's not possible, that it is not a 4.3, it's actually a 2.8 and has a different 700 R4 behind it, which I've since sold. But you'll hear me reference that, so that way you know that I figured that out later in the video series. So this is kind of just documenting that. There's not a ton of information out there on YouTube on how to do this, so I'm trying to be as detailed as possible, but I'm also kind of working in time crunches, so I'll try to film as much as I can, but enjoy the video series, guys. Alright, so jumping right into it, you'll see me, I've got a couple pictures up here of me cleaning it up. You'll see what it looked like originally with all the hay and crap on the floor. I pulled the bench seat out and then ended up replacing it with a set of bucket seats that I got off Craigslist for a really good deal. So I got all the hay vacuumed up and everything. I plan on replacing the carpet at some point, if not just removing it completely, but for now it's at least cleaned up. I cleaned the dash up and everything. The truck was sitting for like 2 years, not being used, so it accumulated quite the amount of dust and debris. Alright, here's some progress on my 1988 S10 that we're swapping a V8 into. I bought this yesterday now, or 2 days ago, and I've just been getting it cleaned up first. It was used on a farm for a little bit, so there's just a ton of hay and just crap in there. The carpet is pretty much destroyed, and I'll probably end up pulling it out, but for now, just vacuuming it up so it's not a horrible place to be in. Pulled the headliner out as well, because that was all sagging and falling down. I have ozone treatment in it for like a total of like 8 hours now. And it's got pretty much all the mildew smell. It's been sitting for the last 2 or 3 years, which is why it smelled like that. Got the seat in the back. Let's see, there's still some hay in the bed, but I got a lot of it out. It has a little bit of surface rust here and there, but it's not bad. I'm not going for a show truck. It's supposed to be a real cheap, just, street strip car. Currently it has a 4.3 liter V6 in it and a 700 R4, so it'll be getting a small block Chevy, probably stick with a throttle body injected one, something out of like a Tahoe or Suburban, so it's nice and cheap. But overall the thing runs really well, so I'll be able to sell the 4.3 out of it, put the money towards the rest of the swap. But it's really close to just ready to swap. I'm picking up a motor here the next couple days. I bought it without a title, but I got a whole paper trail for it, so hopefully I will be able to get the title. That's what I'm waiting on before I dump any money into it, making sure that I can get a title. It doesn't have a lot of dents, just a lot of paint missing, but it should do perfect for what I'm wanting to do with it. So I'm going to keep getting it cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. Picked up the motor for the S10. It's a throttle body injected 350 out of a 1989. I got it for free. The guy said it was using a little bit of oil. Looks like it was at least the rear main seal. He said it didn't burn any of it, or he said it didn't smoke at all. So I guess we'll find out. I'm going to pull the heads off and probably replace them anyway. But it's pretty much complete. I'm going to do a bunch of maintenance on it and everything. But not bad for free. So that's what it looks like. I also got, I'm borrowing a hoist, and I got a stand back there. I did get the truck all cleaned up. We can go walk over here and see it. You can see it in the dark. I'm going to pull the bench seat back out of it tomorrow. I'm putting in buckets with a center console, and then we're going to do a carpet kit as well. But certainly looks a lot better. The white powder is the carpet cleaner. de-smeller, and it works pretty well. I drove this thing the other day because I got it registered and everything, got the title for it, and the back window is like limo tinted. You can see how, you can't see through it at all. And over here, even with how dark it is, you can only see through it a little bit. So we'll decide what we're going to do there. But it's going to make a pretty sweet sleeper. So anyway, I'll update you guys when I get the motor pulled apart. Alright, so I just picked up a set of used Vortech Heads off of Craigslist. Got a pretty good deal on them. So I'm just test fitting those right now. Fit perfect as they should. The valve covers from the swirl port heads actually do fit, so I might hang on to those just in case we decide to use them. We're going to take the heads off and at least get them decked. I might have them modify the studs to accept the screw-in style, and then do the valve or the spring seat modification, and then we also might have them port the exhaust. It'll just kind of all depend on what they're going to charge. I'm not going to run a huge cam in this for right now, so don't need to go crazy. The cam would probably work just fine with the regular springs and everything, so we'll see, but we'll go from there. Okay, bucket seat finish to installing. So again, we got the stud on the outside, then we move the seat forward, and we got the bolt down there, and we got one on the front. It's pretty easy, just drill the hole. Used a 1/2-inch bolt, a regular washer up top, and then a fender washer underneath. See right there? And they're mounted very solidly. Still gotta figure out exactly what we're doing with seat belts, but these are way more comfortable than the bench seat, which is still in the bed. So we are planning on replacing the carpet as soon as I order a set. But yeah, we got the Vortech Heads headed off to the machine shop to get ported and decked, and then should be about time to assemble the motor or engine and get ready to swap it. Pretty exciting. Alright, so I got the 350 flipped upside down and the oil pan taken off. I spilled oil everywhere, as I do with every freaking engine rebuild, but regardless, it's off. Zero bearing play at all, nice and tight, and 4-bolt main, so exactly what the guy said it was. He said it was a runner, he said it ran perfectly. They just pulled it out to put a 383 in, and that's it. So it is perfect. I need to take the heads of the machine shop. They're still sitting over there with the swirl ports. Apparently clean the floor on the freaking garage. But looking real good. I got the gasket surface cleaned up there. The gasket kit's on its way, so once everything gets here, we can start putting stuff back together. At this point, I don't know why I couldn't put the oil pan back on. Once I get the new gasket, it actually had a one-piece gasket on it before that didn't look like it was leaking, but with it off, you know, with the motor out, I'm gonna replace it regardless. So yeah, once the gasket kit gets here, we can get this rolling. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Alright, I'm going to end the episode there. As you can see, I got the oil pan and gasket and everything put back on, as well as the engine painted. I don't put the timing cover back on until a little bit later after it's already in the truck. I just wanted to make sure everything fit. For some reason, I hadn't painted the timing cover yet. But anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you guys later.